So it's another year and another TCL phone, but no complaints here because I've not seen a bad one yet. And spoiler alert, this isn't a bad phone either. In fact, it's a decent handset for the £150 asking price, and it's light, it looks smart, and performed well throughout this review process. I'll be diving into the details in this review video, but I must say from what I've seen so far, I'm impressed. The TCL 55G is packed within a 6.46 by 2.96 by 0.33 inch plastic body. It features some nice rounded corners and feels extremely lightweight when coming in at 183 grams. Looking at the phone from the front, it's got some really nice skinny bezels, though it isn't bezel-less like some of the higher end devices on the market. Flipping it over, you can find two camera nodes, which we'll run through later, and you'll notice that I have the space grey style one here, which I must say does look quite fresh, though it is also available in a dark blue color as well. The camera housing has a gloss accent compared to the rest of the phone too. There was a sticker with some details on the back of the handset when it arrived, and it did leave a residue on the phone when trying to remove the sticker, and I did need some solution to get rid of it. Next time, stick the sticker in the box, TCL. On the right hand side, you've got a lock button and a volume rocker, which feel pretty solid and have a nice tactile click when pressed, and on the left is your SIM card tray and SD card tray. Now the screen is where TCL phones seem to shine, and this is no different here. It has a 6.6 inch IPS LCD with a 90Hz refresh rate, and you can produce 480 nits of brightness, which pushes into that entry-level HDR range, but don't be too excited, it's not the best looking HDR here. It can produce a resolution of 720 by 1612 with a 20:9 ratio, so using the handset to watch media is enjoyable and also nice and clear. NXT Vision or Next Vision makes another appearance, and as usual it's split into three main settings, being image, video and game enhancements, and all aid in increasing things like contrast ratio and sharpness, shadow detail and overall resolution. With NXT Vision there is also a reading mode and an eye comfort mode to aid with minimizing eye strain. And finally, a way of changing the color temperature of your display from warm, cool and a neutral white balance. The selfie camera on the front is unobtrusive and small and doesn't take away from the overall use of the phone. It's got stereo speakers and it's using something called DTS Audio 3D Boom for its sound driver. However, it's nothing special here, and to be honest with you, it just sounds like every other phone on the market. Specs wise, the TCL 55G isn't packing the fastest spec, but it sure is a capable device. It's got a MediaTek Dimensity 6100 Plus octa-core processor with 2 cores at 2.2 GHz and 6 cores at 2.0 GHz. It's backed by a Mali G57 MC2 graphics processor, 4 GB of RAM and 128 gigs of storage space. This can be expanded using a micro SD card if needed, and running a Geekbench 6 benchmark, which by the way took an absolute age to run. First time for me with Geekbench 6, so maybe this is normal, let me know in the comments. I got a score returned of 688 on a single core score and 1817 on a multi-core score, which to be honest with you is a pretty decent score considering this is a mid-range handset, and plus it is on par with the likes of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 and the Nokia X10. Now this isn't really too bad, I don't think, and thanks to the specification of the device, using your general social media apps on the handset isn't going to cause any issues. I also did not really notice any kind of slowdown or stuttering either, which is a nice feeling for the phone, probably that 90Hz screen helping for that. Now for gaming though, I wouldn't really count on the TCL 55G to play anything more than a bit of light gaming. I tried some Wings of Heroes and it was a bit jittery, but it was clear enough to make it through a game. Its 3D Mark score of 1237 reflects this performance though, so it is expected before going in. I wouldn't want to play any kind of graphically intensive titles on this handset, but if gaming is important to you, chances are you're looking at something a little more high end anyway. Android 14 is present on the device though. It's using TCL's own overlay. It comes with some unwanted bloatware like mobile games and a booking.com app and an office suite and some other absolute garbage on the home screen. I mean, I get it. TCL have to make some cash when they do this, but uninstalling these types of apps is generally the first thing I'd do when receiving a handset like this, though they're just a little annoying and they get in the way, and it's just an extra step to setting up the phone. Now it's using TCL 7, which is their own Android skin version with a version number of 7.0.6 FAU. Now it's not really that bad of an experience at all, and it is quite close to stock Android, without the bloatware of course, which is something I've not seen for a little while now on TCL handsets, so it's slightly refreshing to say that at least. It uses gesture controls, but you can use button navigation if you want to, which can be changed in the settings menu. It also features TCL Link, which is a system where the phone will integrate seamlessly with other TCL devices like laptops and tablets. Think documents and media files which are accessible on each device. The fingerprint sensor on the side of the phone is nice. It's not too quick, but you're not going to be sitting there ages waiting for your phone to unlock. It was pretty accurate for me too with my fingers when I switched it on. I do though prefer a PIN code method of unlocking the device on this phone. For battery life, you've got a generous 5010 milliamp battery, which they're claiming can last up to 2 days, which I know they're not wrong, but it also means that you've got to use the phone quite sparingly. It does though have 18-watt fast charging though, so if you do get into caught in a pinch, then it won't take long to get some juice back onto the phone. And with an intelligent charging system featured, it won't ruin your battery life in the long run either, because it'll only give you as much juice as the phone needs. As for the camera, let's discuss this because there are some AI features that seem quite interesting, but from what I can see, seem to kick in for more video content rather than photos. Now you've got 2 cameras on the back. The first is a 50 megapixel hybrid camera and a 5 megapixel ultra wide camera. Now most of the time I was using the 50 megapixel camera as I had no real need for the ultra wide, but some nice features for the camera include a macro ability, steady shot 2.0 which helps with video and image stabilization, AI color video which clears the saturation of backgrounds from your subjects, and finally an AI focus enhancement designed to help with auto focusing on moving subjects. Now all of them here are quite fancy, and the photo quality that is actually created by the TCL 55G is really nice. They're not going to replace your DSLR camera in terms of sharpness or quality, but for any Instagram shooters out there, it's definitely a decent experience with the camera. And it's the same with video too. There's no 4K unfortunately here, but the camera is capable of 1080p at 30 FPS recording. You can also find the usual modes here as well on the camera, like your panoramic shot, your slow motion video, your portrait mode, and all of those kind of things. Again, not a bad camera at all on what I would consider a mid-range handset. But for the price of £149, this isn't a bad phone at all. It's cheap. And if you're budget conscious when it comes to your tech, or are needing a secondary handset, or something for a child, for example, that might break a phone very quickly, then this could be the phone for you. Don't get me wrong, it is an extremely capable device, that's for sure, for all of your day-to-day apps and social media stuff. Gaming sucks. I'm not going to beat around the bush, but that's pretty understandable. It's an £159 handset, and the camera is passable for social media use, but that's about it. Thank you very much for checking out this video review of the TCL 55G phone. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button, subscribe to keep up with our latest tech and gaming videos, and also let us know in the comments down below, is this the phone that you would go for yourself, or would you buy it for someone, or how would you use it in your everyday life if you would actually have one? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. As I say, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.